For over 15 years, Phil Grandy and the Phil's Gang team have been dedicated to teaching, guiding, and answering your investment questions. And with our new Phil's Gang website and customer support messaging system, we are available when you need us to answer your questions. Phil'sGang.com can be accessed from your home, office, or any location where internet is available. Plus, you never miss a beat because all material is archived. From beginner to seasoned investor, Phil Grandy has been helping thousands of people learn about the stock market and producing smart investing strategies. Whether you're preparing for retirement or looking to secure your financial future, learn, invest, and profit with Phil's Gang. That's Phil'sGang.com. For more information, call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Are you ready to get serious about your financial future? You know, reduce your debt, pay off those student loans, and prepare for retirement. Taking control of your finances can be intimidating, but with Phil'sGang.com, you will be educated and guided to make smart investment decisions in the stock market. If the market is up or down, Phil'sGang.com is the only source where you'll learn how to trade stocks and how to invest in the stock market using professional-level skills and strategies. For more information, go to Phil'sGang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
El que San Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When St. Jude told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil'sGang.com. We're a teaching format, and boy, do we give good service. You know, buying a stock doesn't have to be complicated. The reason why Wall Street makes it complicated is so to make you think you need to hire them. You can do better without them, believe me, because you're not going to have those big fees. Come to Phil's Gang, where we'll show you an easy way to buy a stock. Phil'sGang.com, where we don't make it complicated but profitable.
For more information, go to Phil'sGang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy a hold. Giving acting on information presented, we first recommend you get confident professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a magnet. Money coming to me.
It's your daily dose of Manage Your Money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
Well, in an ironic way, I think it was a success. In fact, things have gotten better. We did put a stop to many of the problems that had caused the crisis.
That's Barney Frank. Things gotten better with Dodd-Frank? I don't think so. Remember, it was Dodd and Frank. It was mostly Frank. He caused the crisis. He's the one that caused 9 million of you to lose your homes, which many of you haven't recovered from. Yeah. Barney Frank, he caused all that because he forced the banks to take mortgages from people who shouldn't be given a mortgage. Now, that was bad enough. But then the bank said, wait, what am I going to do with this crap? Here, I got all these mortgages I can't sell. They're garbage. They're missing, most of them, there was one bundle of 6,000 mortgages. They called it a, I can't think of the name now, but we'll call it a bundle. It was a security, I forget the name of it, but we'll call it a bundle. So they tried to sell the bundle. They couldn't sell it anywhere. Nobody would take the bundle because almost every loan in that bundle was not performing. They didn't even make their first payment. So Barney Frank goes to Fannie and Freddie and says, we're mandating you under a certain statute. They put a statute and passed it. We're mandating you to take those bundles. And the banks and Fannie and Freddie said, wait a minute. For 20 years, we've only taken AAA, the best ratings from banks. They have to have credit scores of 750 or more. We don't do that. Well, it was Barney Frank and Maxine Waters, who, by the way, thinks Putin is invading Korea today. Listen to this.
And the fact that he is wrapping his arms around Putin while Putin is continuing to advance into Korea.
Wow. Yeah, Maxine Waters. Unbelievable. Real bright. So she and Dot on the financing committee, they're the ones that forced Fannie and Freddie to take these mortgages, and you know the rest of the story. Fannie and Freddie went down $180 billion. We had to bail them out. So he's telling us today we should get, remember, Trump's trying to get rid of the Dodd-Frank. And it's a good thing to get rid of Dodd-Frank, because remember, Dodd-Frank was put in place to make sure small businesses could not get funding. Obama, as I told you yesterday, hated small businesses for what they represent. The thing he hated about small businesses is that small business owners are independent. They're an independent group. They're not group thinkers. They're entrepreneurs. And that goes directly across from what he wanted to accomplish, which have group thinkers to grow the government bigger so he could grow the welfare state bigger. He couldn't do that as long as businesses were successful in creating jobs. You know that the S&P 500 companies, they only create 20% of the jobs in our country. Let me repeat. The S&P 500 companies only create 20% of the jobs. The rest of the jobs come from small businesses like mine. But he wanted to make sure we didn't stay in business. He wanted to make sure you couldn't go get a loan. So they put the Dodd-Frank together to go and put the community banks out of business, where either they had to fold or merge with Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi, or fail. That way the small businesses had no way to go get capital. This is unbelievable. So Trump needs to get rid of Dodd-Frank, and that's what he's doing, getting rid of Dodd-Frank. So, I mean, it's just amazing. The line is still going on. And what Dodd-Frank has done is destroyed this economy because it's destroyed banking. They also, as I told you yesterday, they went and they figured out, well, what if the small banks go to the 9 largest banks in the United States? Well, what we'll do is we'll tell them that they got to have, the 5 largest banks in the United States. Let's tell the 5 largest banks they have to put aside, in case things get bad again, another $110 billion. And they said, another $110, we can't loan. Oh, no, here's what you do. We'll put aside $110 billion. You got to put that aside. The government told them, put that aside, the $110 billion. We'll take it to Federal Reserve, and we'll put it in our Federal Reserve Bank, and we'll give you an interest rate that would be much more than you'd even make in making a loan to a small business. So all the banks said, well, this is great. I'm going to take $110 billion. All the banks got together, gave it to the Federal Reserve. Now they're making more money, not loaning money to small businesses. This is unbelievable.
We have worked very closely with community banks. We have listened to their concerns. We have addressed those concerns. We work, and we still extend a hand to the community banks.
Well, if she doesn't know that Putin's not invading Korea, I bet she doesn't know 2 banks a day were going out of business. 2 community banks a day since Obama put that act in place. That's right. So while she's up there watching the border of North Korea and South Korea, waiting for the Putin to come across, I guess she didn't get the email about what was going on with her community banks. But all this crazy stuff they're doing is going to be really tough for Trump. And I said this before, we're going to have a 30 or 20% correction in the stock market by this summer, because the expectations for what Trump was going to do and want to do is way too high. He's got too many idiots, both in the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, who's against him, because he's getting rid of the gravy train. They're not going to have the gravy train anymore. So think about this. Think of the mess that was left behind because of all this stupidity. Aside from the weak profit earnings we just got for the last quarter of 2016, hiring at the biggest companies, again, slowing down for the first time since 2010. Wait a minute. In fact, because it's slowing down so much, and because of the weak jobs, too many service jobs, not enough good jobs, the population of refinanceable mortgage borrowers have dropped from 8.3 million to 4 million. What are you, nuts? Cut in half. Because we don't have enough good jobs. Most of them are terrible jobs. They're all service jobs. So the amount of people that were capable of getting a loan dropped from 8.3 million to 4 million. What are you, nuts? Worse, the monthly principal and interest payment on median homes using a 30-year fixed rate loan with 20% down is now $1,045. That's the first time that we've crossed the $1,000 barrier on a mortgage with 20% down since 2008. See, people don't have enough money to pay that $1,045 because wages aren't going up. Why? Because of the trade deficit. The trade deficit, I'm the only one, no one else talks about the trade deficit except me. The trade deficit is the biggest job killer, and the trade deficit is the biggest wage killer. But nobody talks about it. So let's think about this. So here, Trump is trying to fix this, and they're fighting him, especially get rid of Dodd-Frank. Now, Trump wants to cut Obama's driven trade deficit with Asia. When Obama was in office, he was not paying attention to the trade deficit. He let it keep going up and going up with Asia, especially our trade deficit with Korea and Japan. Because he didn't pay attention, or he didn't care, he wanted to go golfing, whatever, in the next 18 to 24 months, we're going to lose at least 1 million more good-paying manufacturing jobs in this country. And Trump's out there doing everything he can to make sure that doesn't happen. And what else happens with these trade deficits that affect you and me and the stock market? We'll talk about that when we get back. And we're going to take a look at GE. Is it time to buy GE? We'll see when we get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. philsgang.com. What are people saying?
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years. Very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I love the new MV charts on Phil's software, and I'm making profits using them.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I love your new MV1, making lots of profits.
I love the chart. You know, I'm limited with time. Real good as far as just looking at whatever ticker tells me right away.
I've always enjoyed Phil's straightforwardness and talk about what's really going on.
The new MV1 and MV2 charting software. I particularly like the pre- and post-market candlesticks.
You guys have always been great on the service side. I can't say enough about the service side.
Don't wait. Sign up for Phil's Gang today. Give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Let me ask you, could you use a little extra money? Well, of course you could. Everybody could use that extra revenue to pay the bills, pay down debt, or save for retirement. With philsgang.com, we help you make that extra income in the stock market. For over 15 years, Phil Grandy and the philsgang.com team have helped folks who are interested in learning short-term and long-term investing by providing professional-level charting skills and strategies. philsgang.com is your #1 source to learn, invest, and profit in the stock market. And you can do this for only $39.95 a month. With philsgang.com, you learn how to invest in the market, you get daily investment coaching guidance, and you will learn to invest and trade with the skills and confidence of the pros. Just log on and get daily investment instructions and make profits. Plus, all philsgang.com material is archived for your convenience. Go to philsgang.com to join or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Call today.
Hi, my name is Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. You know the stock market goes up 72% of the time? Then why is it that the retail customer, 80% of the time, have lost money? Because they don't know when to get out. And that's why I'm providing a product called my MV2 chart that solves that problem. It's always about when do I get out? That problem has been solved. Check it out, my MV2 chart. Don't miss it.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You're probably familiar with a pillow commercial that's everywhere. It's on TV. And wherever you put it, get the pillows, this new pillow that's out. You know what? You don't need a pillow good night's sleep. You want to make sure your investments are safe. That's where you get the good night's sleep. And that's what you get here at Phil's Gang with our technology. It's built in to show you when your stock is ready to fail, when your stock is ready to rally. That's right, it follows the money. You don't need a pillow. You need Phil's Gang. That's how you get a good night's sleep. You'll always know well in advance if the market's going to collapse or your stock. Join my gang, philsgang.com. For more information, just go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-GANG. We will see you on the charts.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Here comes a new president, new beginnings, and new hopes, which can also bring volatile times. Many investors get spooked and begin to question their investments. But the thing to realize is that market volatility is inevitable, and it's a great opportunity to get in the stock market. No one at philsgang.com will tell you when the market correction is coming, and we will not promise you you're going to get rich, but we will guarantee you a good night's sleep. At philsgang.com, our number one goal is to inform investors who want to learn and invest in the stock market. We provide daily investment teaching strategies and the analysis of charting the stock market. You are informed around the clock with market webinars, market updates, working investor programs, and financial updates throughout the day. Plus, you'll enjoy the Phil's Gang customer service. Be prepared for market volatility and make profits with philsgang.com. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
Labor market conditions have continued to improve. Further, there are also indications that wage growth is picking up.
She's Janet Yellen must be on the border with Maxine Waters in North Korea, waiting for Putin to come across the border, because they're both nuts. Labor wages up. You know what the labor wages increased in this country last month? 0.1%. 0.1%. It's like they say, well, trade deficits aren't bad. Oh, really? Trade deficits aren't bad? For every $1 that we save in a trade deficit, $1, we give that dollar back plus an additional $3 for oil. Because, again, our dollar being the world reserve dollar, which means reserve currency, which means every country, if they're going to buy oil, they got to have dollars. So we export our dollars so they have it to buy oil. We're exporting inflation. That inflation kicks up the price of oil. We got to buy that oil, and that's why Trump, as I keep telling you over and over, we got to become independent, oil independent. We cannot rely on expensive foreign oil, because when we save $1 or $2 on the trade deficit, that should stay here in this country. And when we save $30 billion a month, that money can be put towards our schools, towards education, towards our bridges, But instead, if we save $30 billion, we pay 3 times that we get rid of that and pay another $60 billion, whatever the number is, for oil. Isn't that stupid? Just as stupid as, think about this. This is just insane. For every dollar that we take in revenue, in tax revenue, you work hard, look at your tax taken out of your pay. Just look at the tax they take out of your pay. Isn't that ridiculous? First of all, tax on labor is one of the cruelest taxes of all. There should not be any tax on labor. You should be able to keep that money and put it back into the economy. But no, they tax you on labor. They tax you on, which is stupid. And why they do that is to subsidize the very wealthy who has the money and has the accountants so that they don't have to pay any taxes or pay little taxes. So you subsidize their savings. Isn't that ridiculous? Isn't that crazy? But for every $1 the government takes in, they spend $2.06. $2.06. The Congress borrows 42 cents of each dollar it spends. And the Congress wastes 43 cents of each other of the dollar it spends. Isn't that stupid? Oh, is it a surprise when you think, when Maxine Waters, who's on the most powerful committee, the banking committee, thinks that Putin's invading Korea?
And the fact that he is wrapping his arms around Putin while Putin is continuing to advance into Korea. And the fact...
Hey, let's go make some money. What do you say?
The Phil's Gang Stock Corner is brought to you by the MaxFest 1000 Stock Charts.
Okay, we are going to have, there's no question, between now and summer, we're going to have at least a 20% correction in the market, 30% correction. It's going to be a wonderful correction. I'm very excited about this market, more than I've ever been. And you should be too. Because not only will you make money as the market's going down, if you're a gang member, show you how to do it. It's simple, so easy. When it turns red, we hit a little button that says sell short. But the more important thing is when the market turns around and comes back up, it's not going to go up because it's front-loaded. It's not going to go up because we take $6 trillion, we print $6 trillion and give to the companies to buy their own shares back. So their stocks are going up 10 times faster than their profits. Or are we going to print $85 billion a month anymore, buy our own 10-year treasuries, so make sure the interest rates go down, so they're so terrible, so the interest rates are so low, that the Chinese and the other countries get out of the bond market and buy stocks, and then the stock market goes up another 20, 30%. And they go, oh, look at this. Isn't the economy doing good? Unbelievable. Let's take a look at GE. Here's a good example why, again, you cannot buy stocks based on fundamentals. You will go broke doing that. You'll go broke. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Then we'll go over GE. Listen to this.
You want a safety trade? Altria, MO. This stock has been a fair weather stock and a foul stock for the last 5 years. Great assets, great company.
Mo, great assets, great company. This stock has already run, let's see, from $60 to $72. It's already run. So they're telling you to buy it after it's gone up 20%? Or how about this one?
Yeah, the stock is American Airlines. All right, American Airlines is at the right level. I know the Bernstein upgrade caught people by surprise. I think that American is good.
What, are you kidding me? Take a look. American good. This thing has changed. This thing turned red. Turned red on December 6th. Today is February 7th, a month. It's still red. That means the institutions are pulling money out. This is why you don't pay attention to them. So let's take GM. A lot of my gang members own GM. What a wonderful, GE rather. Let's go back. GE. I get the two of them confused. Sorry about that. GE. Now, GE, what a wonderful stock. They didn't need to know anything about GE. Didn't have to know what they were doing, what countries they were. Didn't know nothing about it. All they knew that this stock, institutions started to pour money into the stock of GE back in October 20th of 2015. And then what happened? It started to turn red December 16, 2016. That had a beautiful 8% return. But here's the better thing than that. When it turned red, they knew to get out. And then it dropped. It dropped about 7%. So just think, if you didn't have a chart and you just listened to these people on CNBC and Bloomberg and the rest of them, you would have gotten into GE. That's fine. You would have made maybe 8%, but you would have gave it all back. You would have gave it all back because you didn't know institutions were pulling their money out. By looking at the chart and it's turning red, you know they're pulling money out. And even better, if you made the money on the way up, let's say you made 8% on the way up, you could make 7% on the way down. It's not about what a company does, I keep telling you. It's about when the institutions pull their money out. We'll be back with a lot more here on Phil's Gang. Join my gang, $39.95 right now.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. philsgang.com. What are people saying?
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years. Very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I love the new MV charts on Phil's software, and I'm making profits using them.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I love your new MV1, making lots of profits.
I love the chart. You know, I'm limited with time. Real good as far as just looking at whatever ticker tells me right away.
I've always enjoyed Phil's straightforwardness and talk about what's really going on.
The new MV1 and MV2 charting software. I particularly like the pre- and post-market candlesticks.
You guys have always been great on the service side. I can't say enough about the service side.
Don't wait. Sign up for Phil's Gang today. Give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. What are people saying?
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years. Very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I love the new MV charts on Phil's software, and I'm making profits using them.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I love your new MV1, making lots of profits.
I love the chart. You know, I'm limited with time. Real good as far as just looking at whatever ticker tells me right away.
I've always enjoyed Phil's straightforwardness and talk about what's really going on.
The new MV1 and MV2 charting software. I particularly like the pre- and post-market candlesticks.
You guys have always been great on the service side. I can't say enough about the service side.
Don't wait. Sign up for Phil's Gang today. Give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. If you're a Phil's Gang member or a fan of the Phil's Gang Show, then you need the all-new Phil's Gang hat. Now available in a variety of colors and cool comfort styles for only $25. You can show your Phil's Gang pride with the stylish Are You Nuts hat or Phil's Gang logo hat. Don't wait. Go to philsgang.com and click on the shopping cart icon to order your hat today or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
El que San Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When St. Jude told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
If you're looking to make extra income, if you're looking to pay off bills and plan for your retirement, then check out philsgang.com. Philsgang.com is an online educational service that informs you, coaches you, and guides you on how to invest in the stock market. Get daily advice to buy stocks, short stocks, and learn when to get out of your positions. Philsgang.com provides daily webinars, alerts, educational tutorials, and all material is archived. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
To many, the stock market is shrouded in mystery. When do I buy? What is the stop loss? Should I invest on earnings? Is it time to sell? At Phil's Gang, we want to clear the investing fog for you. We want to make you an educated, confident investor and ultimately a profitable investor. For over 15 years, Phil Grandy and the Phil's Gang team have been dedicated to teaching, guiding, and answering your investment questions. And with our new Phil's Gang website and customer support messaging system, we are available when you need us to answer your questions. Phil'sGang.com can be accessed from your home, office, or any location where internet is available. Plus, you never miss a beat because all material is archived. From beginner to seasoned investor, Phil Grandy has been helping thousands of people learn about the stock market and producing smart investing strategies. Whether you're preparing for retirement or looking to secure your financial future, learn, invest, and profit with Phil's Gang. That's Phil'sGang.com. For more information, call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. This segment of the Phil's Gang Show is brought to you by the MV Stock Charts. For more information, go to philsgang.com.
I want to know, and a lot of people want to know, was there collusion between Putin and the Kremlin and this president as they hacked our DNC? We want to know about.
Congresswoman, what's the evidence? Forgive me for jumping in, but what is the evidence that would lead to impeachment here?
Well, that's what I'm telling you. We have investigations that have already started. There's an investigation in the Senate Intelligence Committee, in the House. You have investigations going on in several places, in several ways. This man is questionable.
This is our Congress. You love that or what? Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay. Unbelievable. They just don't get it, do they? Now, look, I'm telling you, the trade deficit, which I talk about all the time because it's so important, because it causes so much damage, but that's why they don't talk about it. And this is what's going to continue our downward spiral. We're going to get at least a 20-30% correction in the stock market. The first thing is that we got too much going on where Trump, as I told you, the first 1,000-point rally, everybody was excited, and they got ahead of themselves. The expectations were too much. I said that the third day in. I said, what are you, nuts? He hasn't done anything yet. And when he disappoints, they're going to throw him under the bus. And that's what they're starting to do now. He's already had to cut back and say, I don't think I'll be able to do Obamacare, cut it back, dismantle it, get rid of it altogether until 2018. I'm not going to be able to do it because you can't do that to 2018. That means there's not going to be any tax reform. You got to have Obamacare first to do tax reform. That's not going to happen. It's not that he can't get it done. It's not that he doesn't want to do it. He wants to do it, but they block him every bit of the way. Now, the biggest trouble with the trade deficits, okay, the trade deficit is why you can't get a wage hike. A trade deficit, when we have to keep importing more than we export, your wages go down. You can't afford to get a wage, a hike. You can't. And here's the worst thing. Not only do you not get a wage increase, it depresses wages in a way that you lose your $54 manufacturing job, and now you go down to a $13 an hour service job. This is a killer, all because of trade deficits, which could be stopped. Also, the growth in imports, especially from low-wage countries like Vietnam, kills wages here in the U.S. If the prices of these products fall, then this puts downward pressure on prices in the U.S. manufacturing companies. And it really sucks because then your wages are cut to reduce the labor costs. So, again, you get killed. Under Baby Bush and under Obama, our standard of living, because of the trade deficit, fell off a cliff. Income inequality exploded, especially under Obama, dramatically. As a result, under Obama, the real wages of production and supervisory work has declined to the levels not seen since 1979. What are you, nuts? Also with trade deficits and the dollar being weak. When the dollar soars, when trade deficits go up and the dollar goes up, when they soar, we can't compete. Our companies cannot sell their products overseas. We can't compete in price. Now, do you remember the semiconductor blow up? Why? And remember the steel blow up? It was all because the dollar soared and the trade deficit soared. We no longer could put pricing on our steel or our semiconductors to be competitive. And we had the semiconductor bust and the steel bust. Under Baby Bush and Obama, we've ran our trade deficits up by $2 trillion. $2 trillion. What are you, nuts? We have borrowed $2.1 trillion from China. These are our enemies. They're not our friends. And we give them an IOU, a 10-year Treasury note. Because we've been doing the 2.3, we keep borrowing and borrowing because we have trade deficits. And they loan us the money so we can buy their crap. And because of our massive borrowing, they lend us the money so we can buy their crap. We have now become the world's largest debtor nation. Now, here's the problem. I'm not worried about China sending a missile over here and killing me. That's never going to happen. Why would they waste the fuel? All they have to do is say, we're going to raise interest rates on the 10-year Treasury. Know why? Because we see that you cannot manage your money. That was the biggest danger we had under Baby Bush and under Obama, that they were going to tell us to raise rates because we were in danger because we didn't know how to manage our own economy. Can you imagine? The dollar has declined 40% in 24 months. Do you know what that is? Go to the grocery store. See how much a $100 bill gets you with groceries. How far you get. How many bags you walk out with. 1.5? Maybe 2? See, people don't get it. They have no, and they don't want you to get it. That's why they don't talk about it. And that's why you can't buy stocks based on fundamentals. You got to be out of your mind. You got to be. There's no such thing as fundamental. You can't buy on fundamentals.
So the idea that we're going to have some big Trump fiscal stimulus is so wrong. The market is so delusional. We're going to have a fiscal bloodbath because there's no room for a huge tax cut funded by borrowing like we had in the mid-1980s. This is a different world.
So, I don't think we're going to have a bloodbath. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to have the greatest opportunity in the world. Because once your chart turns red, whatever stock you're in, I don't care if it's GE, I don't care if it's Ford, I don't care what stock you're in. The beautiful thing, you're not depending on a song and dance. You're not depending on these stupid stories they give you to buy a stock. Once it turns red, we sell short. It's that simple. It's not that hard. Look, gold is going to be huge when this happens. When we get this out, let me tell you what's going to happen. Gold is going to be huge. Everybody's going to be going to gold. Right now, let's just take our gold stocks. And do you remember how many times did I beg you? I said, join the gang. We're just starting to buy gold mining stocks. Remember, I said, get my chart free for 30 days. Let's take my GDX, how it's doing today. GDX is up 30%. 30%. You know what Nugget's up? 108%. NUGT. And up 180%. Both gold mining stocks. Gold mining stocks. They're still going up. But that's not what's important. What's important is how to know when you get out. How to get out. When do I get out? That's what's important. That's the important thing. My God. You know, wouldn't it be nice just to know? Wouldn't it be out of a stock when you got profits and you don't have to worry? If you don't think it works, I'll tell you what. Go to my site, philsgang.com. You don't have to be a gang member. Go where it says Phil's Toolbox. And then it says MV2 returns. It shows you the returns that you get from MV2. Now, those returns, I'm not suggesting every gang member made those returns. What I'm suggesting is the gang members who have those stocks in their portfolio, because they had the advantage of the MV2, that they knew not only when to get in, more important, when to get out. By getting out, that's the safety net. Anybody can make money when the market is going up. Anybody can make money. My God, look at in the last 8 years, there's an 18% return on the S&P 500. But when do you get out? That's why you get my chart. Join my gang. 877-600-GANG.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. philsgang.com. What are people saying?
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years. Very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I love the new MV charts on Phil's software, and I'm making profits using them.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I love your new MV1, making lots of profits.
I love the chart. You know, I'm limited with time. Real good as far as just looking at whatever ticker tells me right away.
I've always enjoyed Phil's straightforwardness and talk about what's really going on.
The new MV1 and MV2 charting software. I particularly like the pre- and post-market candlesticks.
You guys have always been great on the service side. I can't say enough about the service side.
Don't wait. Sign up for Phil's Gang today. Give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, there's nothing worse than you're investing in a stock and during the day something happens and you don't know what to do. You don't know who to call. Or you call somebody and they just give you a bunch of BS. Not here at Phil's Gang. We value every gang member. During the day, you got a question about your stock, you contact us. We have the best service in the world. philsgang.com. You're not alone. You're a gang member.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. We're offering the most powerful stock charts available on the market. The Max Vest 1000 charts. Now, the difference between these charts and all the other charts is this follows the money. Yes, it gives you a buy-sell signal. I know you're going to say, well, they all do. No, not true. The difference with the Max Vest is they follow the important money. The hedge funds, the biggest banks, the 401ks, the pension fund managers. That's the big difference. They're not following the emotion. That's what most charts do. They follow the money. That's what MaxVest does, follows the money. Check it out. Join my gang, philsgang.com. Oh, and the chart is low as $19.95 a month. For more information, just go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-GANG. We will see you on the charts.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Here comes a new president, new beginnings, and new hopes, which can also bring volatile times. Many investors get spooked and begin to question their investments. But the thing to realize is that market volatility is inevitable, and it's a great opportunity to get in the stock market. No one at philsgang.com will tell you when the market correction is coming, and we will not promise you you're going to get rich, but we will guarantee you a good night's sleep. At philsgang.com, our number one goal is to inform investors who want to learn and invest in the stock market. We provide daily investment teaching strategies and the analysis of charting the stock market. You are informed around the clock with market webinars, market updates, working investor programs, and financial updates throughout the day. Plus, you'll enjoy the Phil's Gang customer service. Be prepared for market volatility and make profits with philsgang.com. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264. Welcome back. This segment of the Phil's Gang Show is brought to you by the MV Stock Charts. For more information, go to philsgang.com.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. You know, it's interesting. Everybody is, the Republicans and the Democrats are going after Trump and are going to try to ruin him, okay? They're not going to do it. He's too smart. But here's what you got to think about the stock market. Everything happens in politics has an effect on the stock market. Everything happens when we import more goods than we export has an effect on the stock market. But what do they sell you? They sell you stories. They sell you stories. It's all about stories, telling a good story to get you excited to buy something. You got to stop with that. Don't ever listen to anybody's story as to why to buy a stock. I mean, that's what Wall Street is. Fantasy land. Fantasy land. It's real simple when it comes to a stock. I just put up a moment ago for you, GM. I mean, GE, really. Give me confused. GE. Isn't it wonderful to know that GE, when you bought the stock, it simply turned green. You didn't have to know why. So GE goes up 8%. Anybody can catch a stock going up. That's not hard. In fact, when I tell you go to my site, you see the returns we're getting on using the MV2. Anybody can get those returns. It's keeping the return. Keeping it. How do you keep it? You got to get out. How many times have you gotten so upset with the stock market that you decided, I'm getting out because I owe this money. I get a nice gain and then I lose my money. Because you didn't know when to get out. You'd listen to some dope. So here's GE. Perfect. And if you have a mobile device, you can see it. Or you can see it tonight. So it showed you right here where it started to turn green. So once it started to turn green, back here on October 21st, and then it went up to, it turned red on December 16th. That was about an 8 to 10% return. But that's not important. Once it turned red, and here's the interesting thing. As it turned red, it was going up. That's the other nice thing about having a color-coded technology. As your stock goes up, just because it goes up does not mean it's a good stock. In fact, many times they do head fakes. What they call paint the tape. They'll push the market maker, or especially will push the price of the stock up to get you excited. He pushes it up, and then all of a sudden he takes the bid out, so it'll drop much faster. It starts collapsing on you. But he got to get you in there to push the market up as he's taking out his friends. As the Goldman Sachs, let's say Goldman Sachs represents the police department in Manhattan, the pension fund. And let's say he's been in G, he's got a beautiful 8% return. What he does, he rigs it so... And he gets together with the other, he gets together with Goldman Sachs, with JP Morgan, with Citi, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, says, look, let's all push up GE together, and we'll get the police department of Manhattan out, their pension. We'll get the fire department, their pension. We'll get them out. So let's push it up. And they push it up, and the retail customer jumps in. He jumps in. So a stock all of a sudden starts going up at let's say $31.46, and you see it going up, and now it's at $32. You say, I got to get in before it gets to 33. I got to get in before it gets to 34, and you jump in, only to lose your money. But see, you won't do that because on GE, when GE turned red, and it turned red on December 16th at 31.52, it went up to a high. It went up to a high on December 20th at 32.38, but it was red. So you knew not to get in. And then it collapsed and it dropped down about 7%. Isn't that nice? So I want you to join my gang. Here's what you do. Just join the gang first, $39.95. Just join the gang. And then as I said to you with gold, remember I said join the gang, follow me? You can do that with a couple stocks. You can follow me. You don't even have to get the charts. Not in the beginning. Just join the gang first for 4 weeks. We have all the class. We have everything going on the MV2 color-coded chart. And you can see what we do with the color-coded chart. Then you can decide, okay, I think I'm going to get the chart. But join the gang. And here's the number, 877-600-GANG. Look, how on earth can you buy any kind of stock on a story? Durable goods is the indicator of the strength of this economy. And here's what happened. Durable goods, the numbers start going down. What happens? You look at GE. All of a sudden, money comes out of the market. Well, whose money? Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, Northern Trust. They pull their money out. They all pull it out together. But they don't tell you that. They're not going to tell you they're pulling it out. They'll paint the tape and tell you to buy it. So the durable goods is one of the most important indicators to measure how strong our economy is going forward. Don't let them call you. Don't let them give you this fancy talk about the PE, forward PE ratio is this and forward PE ratio. Who cares? Productivity. That indicates the strength of wages. Well, as soon as productivity's been terrible in the last years because we are not, corporations are taking the money that they can borrow free, zero interest, take their own profits, put them together, and buy their own stock. When they do that, no money is going into new equipment. Why would it? Why would I buy new equipment? Without new equipment, productivity goes down. Without productivity, you don't get a wage. That's why you haven't had wage increases in 20 years. So my point is, durable goods, indicator of the economy is going forward, the strength of it. Productivity, indicator of wages. I do that for you. You haven't got to worry about that when you're a gang member. You don't have to worry about that. Look at payroll tax. That's where you got to go look. All this lying about how many jobs Obama's created and this one's created, you go to the payroll tax. Everybody that has a job's got to pay payroll tax, right? You know what it showed for Obama, and you find this nowhere. It shows a net loss of nearly 500,000 jobs since the day he took office, the day he walked out. And don't let the door slam you in the arse. 500,000 jobs he lost. Oh, but he says how many jobs he created? 15 million. No, net loss 500,000. How do you prove it? You go to the payroll tax. So just look at durable goods, productivity, payroll tax. I know what the market's going to do. They're going to pull their money out. And that's how I help you. So I'll cover the important part, and you'll see how it works on the chart. It'll turn red. Do you know, how can we have a good economy? 40% of all American workers do not even bring in $20,000 a year in income. 40%. What are you, nuts? In fact, if you have no debts and have $10 in your pocket, you have more wealth than 25% of the Americans. Let me say that again. You have no debts, no car payment, no house payment, no debt, and have $10 in your pocket, you have more wealth than 25% of your American cohorts. 62% of all American workers make less than $40,000 a year. 71% of all American workers make less than $50,000 a year. Isn't that terrible? That's before taxes. So wait a minute. So when they tell you to buy a stock because it's got a good story, you're going to jump in and buy it. And they say, oh, it's going to double in 10 years. It's going to double. It's going to double. Ever hear bulls and bears? Everything doubles. Everything doubles. If they have a head cold, it must double. Everything they do doubles. When they breathe, it must be a double breath they take in. Everything's double. I never heard anything so stupid in my life.
My Cowboys aren't in the Super Bowl, but Tom Brady could have a record 5th straight winning Super Bowl. He sponsors Under Armour. I think the stock's up 20% in a year. I do own it.
Gary Bullbear.
How does he know that? So you put up on the chart, UA, and you say, what a genius. This guy's such a genius on bulls and bear. Yeah, it's all bull. I won't say the rest of the word. What a genius. Up. How does he know that? He doesn't know that. He wants you to believe he does know that, so you buy his newsletter. And then when you get the newsletter, the information newsletter is old. Because Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citi, Bank of America already knew to buy the stock he's recommending a month ago. It's unbelievable. So you buy UA when? When it's green. That's simple. All right, call the gang right now. It's $39.95. 877-600-GANG. And all I ask, you make money, give it to St. Jude's. Give some to St. Jude and the Vera and Walter Scheer Family Foundation. We'll see you on the charts. 877-600-GANG. They're waiting for your call.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You're probably familiar with a pillow commercial that's everywhere. It's on TV. Know where you get the pillow